What's up, guys? This is Cody Peaster. Before I get into everything that I need to talk about, I'd like to address a few things. First of all, this is not my room. I just need somewhere quiet so I could, take videos without getting interrupted. And my room is way too messy right now to do that, so here we are. Some spare room. I don't know. Anyway, second of all, I'm very aware of the situation with my teeth. So, before you think to yourself, wow, this guy has a serious meth issue, it's not true. No, it's just, well, I took really bad care, and I have no one to blame but myself, And honestly, if I could go back in time, fix, do things completely different, I would. But here we are now. Until I can get the money or whatever to get it fixed, I'll just continue looking like white trash. So yeah. Anyway, and now, long hair. I'm not in the process of becoming a woman, despite what some people might think. No, well, I don't know. I was gifted with a great head of hair. I like heavy metal. The two kind of go hand in hand. I mean, I'm going to take advantage of my hair. It's just, yeah. So, moving on here. This will be a long video. I'll try my best not to ramble on or get distracted. Anyway, I was thinking about doing my video outside, but it's really hot out, and summer heat and I just don't mix. Oh, hold on. Phone. Yeah. Gonna need this. Got the speaker. We'll be playing a few clips, some clips. I'll explain. Anyway, so, as most of you may have noticed, anyone who knows me knows that I'm very unusual. I'm a very unusual dude. Well, I have ADHD and Asperger syndrome. It's like Asperger syndrome. Those of you who don't know, it's a form of autism. High functioning, it's whatever. Makes me very socially awkward, weird, unusual. It's not really something I like to, I really like to talk about much because I don't like people making a big deal out of it. I don't really want to be treated special, or or I don't want to be pitied. I absolutely hate being labeled special needs. Really do. I've actually mellowed out over the years. I'm not as bad as I used to be. Some things my parents thought were going to be really bad. Not as bad. Didn't end up being as bad. I recognize facial expressions. I don't have a problem making eye contact, although maybe not so well with dudes, but don't really whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so it was a lot worse when I was a kid, I think, when I was a teenager I took a lot of medication, but anyway, it was pretty bad. I feel bad for anyone who got to put up with me when I was a kid. At least now I'm a tolerable pain in the ass, but when I was a kid, it was really bad. And also, you feel bad for any girls that I happen to like, And when I was a kid, I wasn't one of those kids who thought girls had cooties. No, I like girls for as long as I can remember. Maybe not in quite the same way as I do now, but yeah. I was actually a little I got really crazy with girls like when I was a kid, as far as like, okay, when I was 8 years old, I was in second grade. There was this girl I was crazy about when I was at my church. A girl named Hannah Ross. Yeah. I remember when as soon as I met her, I was like, I was straightforward. I was like, I want to kiss you. I was like, whoa. I mean, I annoyed the hell out of her, you know. Might have been why she transferred to another church. Who knows? I guess I kind of eased off on her like by the time I was in fourth grade, but still, at that point she did move, I did find her on Facebook years later. She was, we put that whole thing behind us. We were friends for a while. Up until recently, like this year, she unfriended me. But it's whatever. Things happen. I don't think we ended on bad terms. I don't think it was. I don't know. We just haven't really talked. It's whatever. Anyway, but yeah. So yeah, now second grade. There was a girl I liked. School. Elizabeth Curtis. Yeah. And so second grade, I had this weird obsession with snails. Yeah, I used to collect snails sometimes, and and there was a period of time that I called myself Cody the Snail. Oh, God. Oh, man, so many things that I did when I was younger. It makes me want to bang my head against the table. But yeah, I called her Elizabeth the Snail. Also, another thing, I had weird nicknames for people that made absolutely no sense. Like family members, people that I was friends with. I'm not going to go into detail about that. I'm not going to name any of them, honestly. No. Thought of it makes me cringe like hell. So, yeah. Anyway, so moving on. Third grade, girl named Rya Hicks. I wasn't necessarily wanting to be romantic with her, but I did, I really thought of her as like my best friend, and always wanted to hang out with her, always. And it got pretty bad because, I annoyed the hell out of her, and she eventually wanted to get as far away from me as possible, which, I don't blame her. It got so bad that, because we rode the bus together, that I wanted, towards the end of the school year, I wanted her to sit with me. She didn't want to, which, like I said, I don't blame her. No. And at that point, as she was going past me, I remember, sticking my arm out against, by my seat. I was like, no, you gotta sit with me. And I was like, that was pretty bad. So that's fourth grade. I had to ride the special bus, short bus. Yeah. Oh man, it was bad. And then around that time, I also started getting feelings for a girl named had a crush on a girl named Elizabeth Harley, which was more of a romantic, as far as I wanted to kiss her. And again, I made that pretty clear. She did not appreciate that. She was in fifth grade. I was in fourth grade when I liked her. But there was another girl in fourth grade, named Casey Hoffman. I knew her since second grade, but it was a similar thing to Rya, third grade. But I wasn't as much of a dick, but I still annoyed the hell out of her, And And you know, in 5th grade, you know, we had different classes, so we never really saw much of each other. You know, 6th grade, 7th grade, we were on the bus together, but you know, we didn't really talk much. Yeah, but let's see, 5th grade, I had like an on and off friendship with a girl named Nicole Malcolm, and you know, sometimes we were good, we were, you know, friends, and other times we were arguing a lot. You know, she was kind of big on the whole, I know you are, but what am I? Yeah. Anyway, but you know, I thought we ended on pretty good terms. That following summer, 2003, she moved to, like, I think Texas or Tennessee. Who the hell knows? Anyway, you know, I found her on Facebook more recently, but you know, she never accepted my friend request, so shit. Yeah, whatever. Shit. I don't think anyone can recover from who I was when I was a kid. Yeah. Same with Casey Hoffman. I mean, I thought we ended on pretty good terms, but you know, she sent her friend request. She denied me. You know, this was like 2009 when I did that, when I started getting on Facebook on a regular basis. You know, and I sent her a message like, "You remember me, right?" You know, and she blocked me. So that was the end of that. Now I did friend Raya on Facebook. We didn't really talk much or anything. She might have deactivated her Facebook. Who knows? After that, I mean, more recently, haven't heard from her. So, but it's whatever. Anyway, but yeah. Now another thing about me in 5th grade, well, around that period of time, when I was about 12, I was very obnoxious. I mean, I was very, like, I went by a stupid. I had a really big ego. I called myself Cody Peaster Extreme Perfect, and I'm not joking. That's really sad, you know. Also, you know, in 5th grade, I kind of started feuding with a guy named Jordan Betcher, or I don't know. Yeah, we're friends on Facebook now. You know, we put that behind us, but so I always got in arguments. I had to be right all the time. I always had to have the last word. And I took it too far. I really did. With a lot of people. Like I said, I had a really big ego. You know, that kind of that went on for like years. Hold on, I'm trying to find something here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's something of me when I was like 12. It was something like I had a tape recorder. You know, I've actually been through several when I was younger. But you know, for a few years, 2001, 2004, I went, like, in the summer. For like a week. I went to like Camp Arrow. It was a place for kids with special needs. Yeah. But yeah, I feel bad for, you know, all of the campers, counselors there, because I was very obnoxious. I took my tape recorder there for it was 2002. I did. I don't think I did 2004. Oh no, I had a boombox, but I don't think I ever recorded anything in 2004. I did in 2003 though. I have that. I had a pretty good length, but you know, I trimmed it up for, you know, specifically for this video. Playing it right here. Here we go. Oh, one thing first. At the end of 5th grade, I started picking up on your mom jokes, but I was absolutely terrible. I did not get the hang of it. I mean, I sort of did, you know, after this, like in 6th grade, 7th grade, but I was never really that good, you know. And I'm glad I, for the most part, I put it behind me. Although I'll jokingly do that at work sometimes with my coworkers, but you know, It's whatever. I don't really, it's not really the same though. But here we go.
So your mama told her that she was in a shoe. I live in a trailer. That's cool, man. And he was, and his mama was in a shoe.
Pathetic.
His mama was in a torn, smelly shoe.
He said my mama was in
Oh my God.
Hey, tell his mama. I know. So, I'm smart, you know.
Okay.
Your mama was Shelton.
Wow.
It's not. Just admit it. I'm much better than you.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
There's no tweaking in my world.
Right, just keep your color.
Yeah, please. Shut up and keep coloring, please. God. Okay.
Look, you need to realize that these are adults, and you don't talk to them like that. And you don't talk to Joey like that either. We're at camp, and we're here to have fun, not be mean to people.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to the woman. God.
Okay? Do you understand? Understand. Can I get yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I like this manners.
Yeah, I heard myself say not. Wow. Okay. Yeah,
I'm so beautiful and perfect. You. Perfect. Deep spring pop star. Cody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Extreme Club. That was another thing that I started in 5th grade. Second half of 5th grade, I became friends with my freaking parapro. I mean, okay, she was, yeah. I don't really regret that so much. I mean, you know, if I found her on Facebook now, I would friend her, but my friendship with her was disturbing, very disturbing. Her name was Miss Mata. Yeah. You know, I hated her the first half of 5th grade, but, you know, I became friends with her the second half. But, you know, after 5th grade, you know, I stayed in touch with her. I actually talked to her on the phone, like, throughout, like, 6th and 7th grade. Anyway. Yeah, here we go. I made up a fake club made some stupid club called the Extreme Club. And that's part of where Cody Peaster Extreme Perfect came from. And I called her Miss Molly Extreme Perfect. God. Oh. Oh. No. Okay. Anyway. I don't really have that many recordings from when I was 13. I mean, I went through a stupid phase during, like, beginning of 7th grade. And I talked like a chick. You know, my voice hadn't changed yet. Didn't change until I was like 14, so I really sounded like a chick. And that's because I watched a lot of Disney Channel. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that at all. You know, when I was young, I didn't mind watching chick flicks. Of course, you know, when I got older, I absolutely started hating them, which I still do. You know, I don't watch those kind of movies now. I didn't watch Disney Channel. There were a few good sitcoms, but they're memory. I've moved on. Anyway, I'll get to my shows later. But yeah, I talk like a chick. Now, I had recordings, like, I remember recording on my computer, but, see, my computer messed up, you know, I no longer had the operating system disk, so, you know, my bro-in-law, like, well, at that time he was my older sister's boyfriend, you know, they weren't married yet, but, you know, he installed Windows, like a new version, you know, he reinstalled Windows, but he formatted the hard drive, so those recordings are gone. I really wish I had them saved. I really do, because I really want to hear myself. Even though, you know, despite how cringeworthy I was. Hold on. All I have from like 13 was, you know, it was a recording of me like when I went to a thing called Youthquake with my some of my youth group church members from church. I could hear myself, but you know, there's a lot of people around, so. You know, I remember I was talking about like a girl I liked, No. I was talking about meeting girls. That's right. But yeah. So, yeah, when I was 13, I saw Elizabeth Harley again. You know, I only went to that middle school for like the first half of the first semester. My parents pulled me out the second semester, and I'll explain that. You see, I was always getting in trouble. I was really, you know, I was arguing with people, you know, getting arguments. Actually, at one point, I got punched in the jaw in 6th grade, you know. See, I don't know, some good dude was talking crap to me, and I talked crap back, and then I didn't know how to punch worth the okay, try to keep clean here, but yeah, didn't know how to punch worth the damn, you know. So, yeah, things were pretty bad, and also I was getting in trouble with my teachers. Whenever my teachers, you know, got on to me about something, you know, I tried to look rebellious or whatever, you know, and failed miserably by, you know, talking about them or drawing pictures of them, you know, really bad pictures of them, making them look bad. You know, I used to draw when I was younger. That usually backfired. That usually backfired really badly. I always got ISS, and I've actually got suspended a few times. I mean, it was bad. Things got pretty bad, and it got a little worse in 7th grade, and that's why my parents pulled me out. You know, and also, you know, I wasn't doing well like in my classes. I was, you know, instead of working, I was usually either drawing pictures or I was like looking at my computer magazines. You know, I had computer magazines. I was a big computer geek, you know, it's whatever. But yeah, it was pretty bad. Now, as far as recordings go, there was only one clear recording that I've been able to find so far. Me when I was 13, like it was January 2005. I'm 26 now. Anyway, I know I should have said something at the beginning, but you know, it's whatever. Still I'm really bad at this. So, yeah. There was one of me, like, here we go. I'll play it.
Okay, what's going on? Hello?
That's really literally all I could find. That's kind of sad, but you know, there's none about me talking about girls. Oh god, I think Snowball's playing with the cord. Anyway, no, I'm distracted here. Okay, so yeah, I was playing with a FM transmitter that I found. You know, I had it hooked up to my computer. Yeah, so it was transmitting like, you know, sound to my tape recorder from my computer using my computer microphone. I was testing it out. That's what it was. So, but yeah, my next real recording. I mean, I had a couple from when I had a few from when I was 14, but it was one of me actually talking. You know, at that point, you know, by the time I was 14, I had moved to Haversham. I lived in a rental house for like a little bit over a year and 3 months. I had a couple people that like lived in the basement below where I was staying. But yeah, I went to North Haversham like 8th grade. That's when that was when I hit my growth spurt, got taller, voice changed. And the only reason I really knew when it changed was like recordings, and also I remember playing with my sister shortly after I started 8th grade, and then voice crack or whatever. My mom was like, "Wow, Cody, your voice is changing." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's great." I was like, "Okay." And I forgot about it until, you know, months later when I heard myself talking, and I was like, "Oh wow, huh, what do you know?" Anyway, but things were a little bit better in 8th grade, but I I was still getting in trouble. I mean, I was getting along with people better, but you know, I was like, there were girls I liked. Dakota Free, poor Dakota Free. I annoyed the hell out of her too. Anyway, you know, here's a recording. This one's also trimmed up.
Anyway, who cares? I'm outside right now, so I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ain't crazy about. There's a lot of girls. Okay. I'm a ladies man.
No, I'm not. No, I was not a lazy man.
Yeah, I'm crazy about girls.
Well, no shit.
I'm human. I'm not just one of those. Another one of those geeks. Invading Georgia. Invading the world. Besides, I have a big attitude. Autistics on all that. I'm not problems.
Yeah.
And not knowing when to leave girls alone.
Obviously, at least I knew it. I mean, I still did it, but at least I knew I had a problem.
Get fired up, and I'm gonna stay soon back. Do whatever I can. Problem is, you come back. A lot of times, I come back to suck.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Show off. What is he disgusting? So smart. No, well, I just think she just seems that way. She loves herself, so I can tell she's in love with herself.
Why is okay? This thing is glitching up. I can't pause it or anything.
You know, when she.
There we go.
Show up, you know, he's disgusting and stuff. She's being that all laugh but man, she's just wrong. Oh, I feel like smacking her. Like I said, I got an attitude. I can get irritated. I can get really irritated.
Now, okay, so you can see I'm not quite as messed up in the head as I was when I was 12, but I still had a long way to go before I became the tolerable pain in the ass that I am now. But yeah, you know, that was thanks to medication. I took a lot of medication. You know, now I don't. I only take, there's like one I take, and that's like to keep me from getting like pissed off all the time about little things. But like, you know, Celexa. But back then I took a lot. You know, I was really hyper, as you can tell by this video, not video, recording. Oh, I didn't have my first camera until I was like 17, but yeah, let's see, a little bit more left.
And I'm pretty hyper, depending on, I take pills.
Oh, there we go.
Just to help me not be hyper. It's a thing with my autism.
No, it was ADHD, but
I didn't tell you autistic.
those are my poor neighbors.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm on the phone with
sorry.
company. That's okay. But I'll talk to you later. Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I feel bad for my poor neighbor, Delana. You know, I annoyed the hell out of her and her kid, Harrison. You know, more recently, I sent them friend requests. You know, they both denied them. So you can see that they were glad when I moved out. You know, I moved out in summer of 2006. Moved into this house. So yeah. Now, I don't think, you know, 9th grade, I was still pretty obnoxious, but, you know, a lot of, like, I had a lot of journal entries. Like I wrote in my journal a lot. But yeah, I was still getting in trouble a lot. Not as bad as 7th grade. You know, 8th grade, and 9th grade were not great by any means, but better than 7th grade. You know, because like I said, I was always getting in trouble with everyone. Drove girls get crazy. Like I said, poor Elizabeth Harley. You know, she definitely remembered who I was in 4th grade. So honestly, I meant to say something about that. I don't know. I guess I got off track. But yeah, she was in 8th grade. I guess she said she was like homeschooled or whatever. Like when I was in 6th grade, she was in 7th. But you know. Anyway, yeah. So you know, she did not like me. You know, even though I had a major crush on her, like when I was in 7th grade. It was more of a teenage crush than a kid crush like when I was in 4th grade. But we also kind of argued too because you know, like I said, she didn't like me, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like we kind of ended on decent terms. Like when I got pulled out, like you know, I tried to set things, you know. Wait, I lost my train of thought. I wanted to end things on good terms with all, you know, with people, like before I left. And I thought I did with Casey, but I was wrong. She was pretty much done with me. So yeah. Anyway, so now moving on back to where I was. 9th grade. You know, I did some stupid things like, I remember things didn't work. You know, when the Code of 3 decided she had enough of my crap, you know, I got pretty mad and I started drawing on people's faces in my yearbook, my 8th grade yearbook. I mean, like drawing faces here on girls that didn't put up with my crap, basically. You know, I was still very immature. I still have a lot growing to do now, but like I said, you know, still. You know, Dakota Free and I did kind of patch things up at the end of 9th grade, you know, around that time, you know, like 2nd semester of 9th grade, you know, I had a crush on another girl named Brianna Knupp. Then we started like, it was her and Tara Harrelson, yeah. But then we started feuding about something because I made up this, you know, stupid story about my youngest sister or whatever. You know, they didn't take it too well. I was basically saying that my sister was a science experiment. Oh yeah, my youngest sister is kind of a pain in the ass, but you know, it's whatever. They're both kind of pains in the ass. Brighton, you know, she's. No. I'll get to that, okay? I'll get to my sisters. Come on. All right. So yeah, me and Brianna Knupp, along with Tara, we kind of started, you know, arguing or whatever. We didn't get along for a little while, for like about a month. By the end of 8th grade, 9th grade, we did patch things up. So things are all right now. I'm just gonna put my hat on. Yeah, screw it. My hair is always wild when right after a shower. Anyway, so yeah, now things, voice crack. Things changed. Things kind of changed, you know, 10th grade. One went to Haversham Central. At that point, I got really shy, which is, I know, very unusual for me, but, you know, it was, I stopped being so obnoxious. I started, you know, there was a lot of people there I didn't know, so that was part of it. And I was pretty much the same way for a while, up until like, you know, 2009, like late 2009. I finally started getting out of it. But on the plus side, I did stop getting in trouble. Yeah, I didn't get in trouble at all during 10th grade. Now, I did have bad grades though, and that was because, like, especially in my computer classes, even though I'm good at computers and all that, the problem was I wasn't doing my assignments. Instead, I was getting distracted by other computer-related stuff. Like there was one, and also like my digital, I think it was digital media, or I don't know. Yeah, okay, we did like Flash. I did a Flash project. We were just supposed to like make like a music video type of thing or whatever, but I got too carried away with detail in one project. I wanted to make it, you know, make the thing look like an actual like replica of Windows Media Player, you know, like a Windows Vista. I didn't even have Vista yet, but I thought it was really cool, and I was really fascinated by that. You know, I was so caught up in that I didn't actually get my assignment done, and that was pretty bad. You know, I got bad grades. Yeah, and then there was classes that I also sucked at. Like, second semester of 10th grade, I took drama, and I probably do great at that now, but then I was like really shy, so I didn't like to. I really just wanted no part in any of that. So yeah, I failed that class. I had to repeat 10th grade. That's how bad I did. You know, it was a pretty miserable time, you know. And also, you know, 2008 was a bad year. Because my oldest brother, you know, I'll get into the details later about my family, but yeah, he died. He had cerebral palsy, you know. We were pretty close, especially when we were kids. He was pretty severe. Maybe he died. And then a couple months later, my grandmother died. You know, and I was always getting in trouble with my parents because, you know, I was always stealing food. You know, I love food. Hell, I've been fat. I've been fat for most of my life. At least chubby. I'm chubby right now. A little chubby. Not. I've been worse. Been a lot worse. But anyway, getting off topic here. But yeah, I was always stealing food. Also, I would steal money to get food from the vending machines. So yeah, I was getting in trouble a lot with my parents. So it was a pretty bad year. I mean, all that together. And then 11th grade, no, second sophomore year, I got into some pretty serious trouble. One of my computer classes, this was a class with Mr. Johnson. I wanted so badly to, I don't know, for some reason, I don't really want to get into too much detail, but I was looking up ways to try to get myself administrative privileges, you know, because, you know, they restrict, like, a lot of, like, settings for, you know, students, which is understandable. I mean, you're here to learn, not, you know, fuck with things. Sorry. I mean, you know. So I got into pretty serious trouble. And then you know, I still continue to get. I didn't really get in trouble with much of anything else, but it was still a pretty bad year. You know, I was still getting in trouble with my parents. See, I had my first cat. I don't know. I swear this kind of ties to the whole time period thing. I mean, that was the one thing that was really going for me that year. I had a black cat named Mocha, you know. And then 2009, you know, he ran away. I mean, I got him as a kitten. My parents never got him fixed, you know, unfortunately. But that spring, 2009, he ran away. So the first half of 2009 was a pretty terrible year because I was still getting in trouble with my parents. I was failing some of my classes, you know. And then I was really shy. I couldn't really talk to that many people. Mostly hung out by myself, you know. It wasn't until my junior year that I actually, things started looking up. So yeah, Mocha ran away. So that was a pretty sad period. I got a snowball now. That's the tail that you saw earlier. Snowball. He's like 3 years old. Yeah, I think he's 3 years old today. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a big cat person, so that was a pretty big deal. I've always been a cat person, but I got a new cat like right after the end of my second sophomore year. So things started to look up. Nice. Okay. The summer was pretty decent, even though I was still getting in trouble with my parents somewhat, you know. I got my first camera when I first started getting into photography, although I wouldn't say I was really into photography then as so much as I was just simply into snapping shots. Like I said, it was just a little small camera. I took pictures, took videos, you know. It's nothing special. Unfortunately, I did lose a big chunk of pictures from that summer, pictures and videos, due to a hard drive crash in my first laptop. Several thousand pictures gone. So yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. Anyway, but moving on here. Beginning of my junior year, things were still pretty crappy. I was still shy, and I got in trouble. I had a computer class. That was pretty short-lived. I wanted to put a modern. They had an old version of Microsoft Office in there, and I wanted a really good quality PowerPoint, not a crappy one. They had Office 2003. I wanted Office 2010, which came out that year, I believe. Yeah. So I got in trouble with that. And so at that point, you know, the assistant principal, Mr. Mulligan, he decided to pull me out of all computer classes. And put me in. Said I had a PE class, which I hated because I don't like sports. I mean, you would think, you know, me being a big dude, I would like sports, but that's not true. In fact, not really big on physical activity. You know, I'm pretty lazy, I'm pretty laid back as far as, you know, exercise. I mean, I like walking around, but that's, you know, anyway. So yeah, but things did start getting better after that. I mean, at that point, I was pretty miserable. In fact, I was so miserable when I got in trouble that I actually wanted to kill myself. I really did. I don't know, I was thinking about taking a whole lot of sleeping pills, just whatever. But my sister, my younger sister Brighton, she told my dad, it talked me out of it. I'm glad. Even though things are not totally great right now, but, hey, something great will happen at some point, I'm sure. I mean, there's a reason I'm still here, But anyway, things started getting better. I actually had my first relationship. It was short-lived. It's a girl named Sarah, We dated for like almost a month. I met her at the fair that year. It was pretty nice, but she had an ex-boyfriend that she was still friends with, and me and the dude, I'm not gonna say his name. We did not get along, and so I talked to Sarah on the phone a lot. It was pretty nice. I had my first kiss, even though it wasn't until 18. I was 18 at that point because, like I said, I repeated 10th grade. So I was 18. She was, I think she was 16. I don't know. We didn't actually do it. Yeah, no, I'm still a virgin, and I'm okay with that. I'll get to that, but part of it's by choice, and part of it's not by choice. I'm old-fashioned in the sense I want to wait until I'm married. And I'll get to that. So, I'm going to turn off the fan real quick. I'm no longer hot, so anyway. So the relationship ended about the middle of October. So it was almost a month. She said, I wasn't the guy she thought I was. She broke up with me on MySpace. And yes, that's how old I am. I actually had a MySpace. Yeah, for a few years. I didn't get on there much. I only got on there like once or twice a month. And it was the same with Facebook. I made Facebook 2008, and I rarely got on there until the end of 2009. But yeah, things, despite the end of the relationship, things, my life did start getting better. I started talking to more people at school. I started getting to know people more. I became more confident. Things got better, even though I was still kind of annoying, but things got better. It was at the end of 2009 that I started getting on Facebook a lot, and I started adding a lot of people. Up until then I had 45 friends, and then by the following spring of 2010 I had like over 400, and then the fall of 2010 I had like over 1,000. So now I have 4,000. So last time I checked, 4,784. Yeah, I think that's what it was when I checked today. Not really that important, but like I said, I came out of my shell, came out of my really awkward period. I'm still awkward now, but things were all right. I was no longer getting in trouble in school. Despite getting back out of my shell again, I wasn't getting in trouble. I have not been in ISS. I haven't been in ISS at all during my junior and senior years. Now I did. Oh, one thing. Ninth grade, I did get 4 or 5 days of ISS, and that was for complete misunderstanding. Someone started talking about a hit lists or whatever, and I said I had one. I didn't know what that was. I thought it was list of people I didn't like, but no, it was a whole lot more. It was a kill list, and I definitely don't have one of those. So yeah, I got in trouble for that. Now, and the reason I bring this up now is because it kind of ties into what happened during my junior year, at the end of my junior year. Well, I did get suspended once. Actually, I almost forgot about that, but I did. But that was for a completely false accusation. Someone thought I had a rape list, which is really stupid. Like I said, I'm a virgin, and I want a real relationship. I'm not a hit and quit it guy. But whatever, people thought I did, and I got suspended. And unfortunately, people did kind of spread that rumor around. I didn't get in trouble anymore as far as I didn't get suspended anymore after that. But did kind of make some people hate me. Like, beginning of my senior year, like this was like sophomore girl, I thought she was kind of cute, I noticed she kind of hated me or whatever, and I don't know, I said something, and then she was like, well, at least I don't have a rape list. I was like, wow. And then it was at that point that I started making videos on Facebook called, well, I didn't start calling it That Piece of Show until the end of that year, but I wanted to discredit those rumors, but I made such a big deal out of it. I remember saying, if any of you believe this rumor, you can just go to hell. Honestly, now I don't really care. People don't like me. People believe some stupid crap about me. That's fine. I know who I am, and my friends and family know who I am. That's all that really matters. Anyone who's worth my time, knows that I'm better than that. That's whatever. But at that point, I was really concerned about my reputation. And sometimes, somehow, it kind of made me, I don't know, I got in a lot of drama with some people, stupid drama, and that kind of went on throughout the end of the senior year. I assumed too much. When some girl said something or whatever, some girl that I was friends with, McCall, I liked her too, it was whatever. I thought she said something about me, and I blew it way out of proportion. I mean, it turns out she wasn't talking about me, but still, I kind of made, the friendship on and off throughout the remainder of the school year. We're friends now. I saw her actually a couple days ago. But yeah, I got myself into a lot of stupid drama during my senior year. I was such a dick. But anyway. But yeah, I continue to do videos, That Piece of Show. I got, the first half of the senior year I had a webcam. Second, because, my other camera, I had like 3 at that point, and they all broke. I got a new one that following year, did more videos. By that summer, after I graduated, I got I got my first Nikon, like a real camera. Even though it's not this one. It was one I had right before this one. I had that one for like, I've been using that for 5 years. I still have it, but I don't use it. It's a D5100. Started using that for my videos. You know, it's full HD. It was decent. Although this one takes better video, better pictures, better everything. I have a great camera setup now. But I'm not getting off track here. So yeah, I did videos for that for a while. Did that piece to show. Then I decided to end it in the beginning of 2012. You know, I started college. I started college in 2011. Went to North Georgia Tech for photography. Now, unfortunately, while I was great at photography, my struggle was doing my assignments and turning them in. Which, you know, I started out doing great, but then I started getting distracted. And part of that was by women, and part of that was just by, you know, a whole lot of other stuff. And some of that was, you know, The Sims. Shit. You know, which I still play. Oh, I play a whole lot of The Sims now. Sims 3. But yeah. So yeah, I failed my first semester. Went back for another semester. I failed that too. Then, you know, I had like 3 semesters. A spring semester. I took the summer off. I went back one more time to the fall of 2012. And I was doing alright at the beginning. Then started getting off track. I actually passed a few classes, but I took some English. I don't like English class, even though I know that's the language I speak. But I mean, like, you know, I don't care about essays or any that crap. Screw that. But no, things. I failed, and then, you know, what didn't help my photography was the fact that my camera quit working. You know, the shutter broke, so I sent it to the repair shop for like months. It took freaking months. So yeah, I didn't go back to college. I was unemployed. Things started getting better though. I mean, I got a job in 2013. Now, 2013 was kind of an important year because I lost a whole lot of weight. And I was fat throughout my senior year, and really fat in 2011, 12. 2012, like 300. I dropped like 90 pounds in 2013, so that was pretty big. I was just like, by 2014, I was just above 200. And 2014, I pretty much maintained that for the most part. Hell, some parts of that year I actually went below 200, 197. Actually, the lowest I've gotten was 190. One time I saw it hit 195, so that was pretty big. But you know, But getting back, I had my first job, 2013, first actual job. I had a short-term job during my senior year, but that was just 2 weeks just during my winter vacation, Goodwill. But 2013, it was a part-time job, but it was still a job. That was pretty nice. Rad designs, did decals. It was like a family-owned business, you know, owned by a family of people I would go to church with. Pretty cool people. You know, did ship decals, like basically cut out decals, ship them. Pack them, ship them, you know, that kind of stuff. I only worked 2 days a week, so it was really part-time. I lasted 6 months. Now, I was kind of screwing up on the job sometimes. And what really, I got fired, I got let go February 2014. So it was, and what really tipped it off was when I was pouring water into a Keurig, and unfortunately I spilled some of the water behind the Keurig, and the water got on some of the decals, and that was bad. It was a lot of damage, and they were not too happy. But, you know, despite all that, we ended on good terms. You know, we're friends now. You know, both the guy and you know, Caney and Rhonda. You know, I go to church with her. Her 2 kids. Yeah, they're cool. You know, we're on good terms now. 2014 though, the end of 2014, that was big because that was when I started working at Walmart, and I still work there. I unload trucks, I stock freight, pull pallets. You know, right now though, things are not going great, and there's one manager which I know just absolutely hates me, Todd, but I'm not going to get into detail. I think I've just about run my course. I don't want to spend the rest of my life there. But, you know, things have been great. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the same person I was when I was a kid. My coworkers tolerate me. Some of them didn't, but they quit or got fired, so it's all good. Some coworkers were douchebags, you know. So, good riddance. But, you know, I don't want to, at the end of this year, I don't want to still be there. Like I said, I've come a long way, but still got a lot of growing up to do. Now, one thing I'm not proud of is that I still live with my parents. I'm not proud of that. I'm 26. I'm almost 27. And I'm single still, you know. I remember being 20. I remember being in college. I thought to myself, by 2015, I'll be out of Georgia. I'll be married, have my own place, nice car. Right now, the only thing I've accomplished is 2018 now. So that sure as hell didn't happen. Except I do have a car. It's a decent one. It's a Ford Escape. It's actually my second car because I got my license last year. I know, 26, got my freaking license 10 years after the average person. Yeah, so, but at least there's that. Last year was pretty miserable. I mean, you know, my grandfather died, you know. I was pretty miserable because I had my mind stuck on a girl, which I actually did see last month. So, you know, but, you know, I think I finally moved on now. But now, like another girl, I'm not going to say her name. I met her a few weeks ago. I will say that she looks kind of like Kate Upton, which definitely says she's way out of my league. I haven't seen her in a couple weeks. I guess she's a college student, and that's why I've seen her. But now that college is currently out, you know, no one's in college right now, I'm not going to see her. I might see her I don't know. I hope I do see her again, but, you know. I got my mind stuck on her because, well, she's not stuck up like, you know, most of the girls I awkwardly introduce myself to, you know. Yeah, most girls won't give me the time of the day. I'm an acquired taste. I don't have the confidence with girls that I did when I was a kid. And that's both good and bad, because it's good that I'm not like restraining order crazy with women now, but it's bad that I now have almost zero confidence with women, and you know, and right now I think that's getting worse because the older I get, the more I'm not making progress in my life like I should be. I feel like I'm like a creep because I'm awkward. I got the teeth situation really doesn't help. You know, things, really, voice crack, 26, wow. Things, really awkward with women, you know. I just don't have the confidence, and most girls don't give me time of the day, so it really doesn't help. it's kind of it's a cycle. I mean, it's always something. I mean, I know it's not really necessarily my looks besides the teeth. I mean, I'm a decent looking guy, full head of hair. I'm tall, got thick legs, which is a lot of people, commented on, like, damn, dude, how you got such big calves? I'm like, dude, genetics. So I don't work out. I mean, I did last year, but not really with my legs. But I've seen girls with not guys that I don't know, whatever. But it's just the way that I come off. That's just who I am. That's my problem with women. Girls want a really confident guy who's like making something of himself. Like that. And unfortunately, that's not me. I'm not successful. I work at Walmart. I've been working at Walmart for like 3.5 years. So that's a big part of my lack of confidence with women. I don't think this girl that I met, would ever go out with me. I don't know. I just somehow I see myself getting. I feel like I'm probably going to be single for the rest of my life. I'm not trying to get laid, That's not me. I mean, maybe like a little part of me, but, it's a little part of every straight dude, But, I'm not trying to get laid because I don't want to be a baby daddy. It's just, I hate that, the way society is now, where like you gotta have sex with a girl, quick as soon as possible, Really? Okay. So yeah. Honestly, I don't really care about getting laid, so much. I'd rather wait until I get married. I want a relationship. I'm old-fashioned in that sense. Some guys, they're really big on one-night stands. They like the, it'd be like Barney Stinson's from How You Met Your Mother, which is a great show. I love that show. I find him, hilarious, but I would never want to live like that. I want a relationship, I'm not really desperate, but hell, I don't want to date just any girl I meet, be like, I'm not really that desperate, but no, I just, I don't know, when I like a girl, I usually fall pretty deep, and it's unfortunate. And that's part of my struggle with work. I'm not as fast as I should be. I get distracted very easily, and it's part of it due to the ADHD. But my lack of progress in life, I really shouldn't blame my Asperger's and ADHD, even though it's kind of it's kind of a speed bump. I blame myself because there are people with things like that. Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know what the hell he has, but shoot, he's like a millionaire or billionaire or whatever. Because he actually did something, He actually did something with his, his gifts or whatever, And same with Bill Gates. Me, I'm working at freaking Walmart. I'm good with photography. I'm good with computers. But I just don't know. I don't really know how to put that into use. That's the thing. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I want to do something with my life. I want to get out of Walmart by the end of this year. I want, something good to come out of 2018. And while I'll admit I'm happier this year than I was last year, when 2019 hits, I do not want to be in the same place. I mean, it's been a great run. I've made some great friends. Hell, I've basically based my Sims game around them. I have like an entire sim story, like that I started in 2016. You know, put myself with a girl way out of my league, fictional girl. You know, got married. You know, had kids, which you know, real life I really don't want kids. Kids are great, but I just don't see myself being a dad. Stick being an uncle. Just don't really. I'm not ready for that responsibility. So yeah. Anyway, so moving on. You know, story. You know, the story basically is very exaggerated. My character, my coworkers, they're like exaggerated portrayals of my coworkers, and you know, some of them are gay, even though they're straight in real life. I just thought it was kind of funny. I don't know, like two of my coworkers, you know, were her best friends. I had them get married in my Sims game. You know, had this happen to quite a few of my coworkers, and also, you know, male pregnancy is featured quite a bit. Yeah, I actually did make myself pregnant once. Even though I was married to a woman, still, I only did that once. You know, even though she had the other 4 kids. I have a total of 5 kids. I did it just, you know, because I was thought it was kind of fair just to do it to myself once, since I did it to everyone else, almost everyone else. Now, usually, you know, I don't really torture my characters out of anger. Maybe some of them, but usually I just do it just for the hell of it. I think it's funny, you know, make their lives. You know, some coworkers are kind of douches, so I made their lives pathetic, but that's whatever. I know, like I said, I still have a lot of growing up to do. I will actually make a video talking, you know, about my sim stories and all that. Go into detail about that. Make a separate video for that. I need to move on past this. So, moving on. Now I'm going to talk about my interests. You know, music, TV shows, religious views, my family, and you know, political views. Okay, religious views. I'm a Christian. A great Christian? No. I'm still a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. You know, I wouldn't really assign myself to any denomination, even though I go to a little redneck Baptist church. You know, I don't go there as much as I should, but you know, honestly, you know, I went there with my family since we moved to Habersham. Honestly, my views with, you know, I'm not the shove in your face kind of Christian. You know, what you do is between you and God. Okay, you know, if you're an atheist, you know, maybe a little concerned somewhat, but I'm not gonna tell you that you're going to hell, because you know what? It's not my place. You know, a lot of things a lot of things, like honestly, like, you know, gay marriage, you know, honestly, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's between you and God, okay? I'm not going to condemn anyone for, you know, anything except maybe murder. You know, that's where I draw the line. You know, you kill someone else, you know, I don't know. I'm going to think to myself, wow, maybe, yeah, he really does deserve to burn in hell, maybe. No, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that, but, you know, murder's where I draw the line. Anyway, so yeah, that's where I stand. Now, political views. For a long time, I didn't really give a crap until 2015. Now, I guess I grew up, in a Republican family, I guess, So I guess I kind of, went with them. Now, 2015, I started paying attention. And for a long time, I considered myself, very right-wing. I kind of drifted away a little bit. I'm kind of, now I kind of find myself center-right. I'm not a liberal. I absolutely can't stand the modern day feminism, like third wave feminism, social justice warriors. Being offended by everything. I mean, dude, that's what's wrong with society. Getting butthurt about everything. I mean, that's all that kind of stuff. And I'll go ahead and say this: 2016, I did vote for Donald Trump. I don't agree with everything he does. I don't agree with everything he says. He says some pretty stupid things. But when it comes down to it, between him and Hillary, the most corrupt politician ever, in my opinion, it was going to be Trump. I wanted someone who put America first. I wanted to put someone. He was the guy I went with, Hell, I had a Make America Great Again hat for a while. I lost it last August. I got a new one, but it didn't really fit right. So now I just have got this hat last fall. Now, for a long time I didn't wear hats, because I like showing my hair off, But sometimes, when I'm working, it's just my hair gets in my face, and I don't want to chop it off, but I mean, like especially when I'm unloading a truck, my hair needs to stay out of my face. And sometimes, it's whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I voted for Trump. Despite everything, I don't regret it. I mean, honestly, maybe if we had a decent libertarian candidate, I would go for that. Because, there are some things I believe in, I think pot should be legalized, I think, the government should just stay out of a lot of things, I mean, a lot of things really, gay marriage, whatever. What a person wants to do with their lives, as long as they're not killing people, it's whatever, not killing people or doing anything stealing or whatever that's making people. If you're not making someone else miserable, then you should be able to do what you want, smoke pot. I don't. That's where I go with, that's the only drug I would ever support being legalized. I wouldn't go as far as cocaine or sure as hell not meth. And but when it comes to pot, I prefer that over drinking. I don't drink. I really don't. I don't drink or smoke. Never smoked a cigarette. Cigarettes are absolutely disgusting. And I mean, they kind of ruin your life because a lot of money on a habit that basically kills you. And if you try to quit, you pretty much go crazy. A lot of my friends, who smoke, they quit for a while and they start back again. I don't want to go there. And as far as alcohol, I do enough stupid things sober. I make myself look like a big enough I make a big enough ass of myself sober, so no. And I don't need the hangover or anything like that. So yeah, I don't drink. Yeah. But, pot, I mean, if it was legalized, I wouldn't mind the occasional, just to like, just sit back with my friends, and kind of like that 70s show, just forget about the crappy things in life, just, have fun, just chill. Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. I'm not saying I'd want to be a stoner by any means, but, occasionally, I wouldn't mind that. Even though I really, I eat like a stoner, even though I've never actually smoked it. I eat a lot. That's why I used to be fat. Right now, I'm doing decent. Not as skinny as I was last year. Last year, I was hanging around 200. Right now, I'm like 217. I put on a lot of weight during the fall and winter. Right now, I went to like above 220. So I'm trying to get my weight back down. Because, I look better skinny, especially with long hair. Especially in the face, when I'm skinny, I have a more mannish face, and when I'm not, I look more like a transvestite. I don't know. I just, whatever. Anyway, so moving on here. Now, my family. I'm adopted. My parents, adopted a lot of special needs people. I've met my biological mother. I haven't met my biological father, but I believe I found him on Facebook. And as far as I know, he has a full head of hair. He's still got a full head of hair, and from what I've heard, my biological mother from both sides of the family have full heads of hair. So I think I'm in good hands. I think I'm all right. Be all right there. But anyway, so I'm adopted. I have two biological sisters. They're half sisters. I have different dads. Brighton, she's 21 now. I actually have a video of me and her, like when we were kids, when I was 12. It's already on YouTube. It's been on YouTube for quite some time. But basically, I had a really crappy little camera, which I hooked up to my VCR. It didn't last long. The focus thing broke, and it was really blurry, and I stopped using it. I don't know what happened to it after that, but oh,
battery 30%.
let's turn it back on.
Connected to for Galaxy S5.
It's my Bluetooth speaker. I've had it since last September. It's great. I'm about to use it in a second. So my two little sisters, Brighton, she's 21. Despite me being an absolute dick to her when I was a kid, we had some good times. And I miss the childhood. We used to watch TV. We watched TV and movies together. I watched a lot of cartoons. Watched like Toon Disney a lot. I miss Toon Disney. That show. That channel died out like 10 years ago. But yeah, sometimes she would make me watch Noggin with her. Noggin was basically it was like Nick Jr. It had some Nick Jr. shows. Little Bear, which even as a kid made me cringe like hell. Franklin was tolerable. I mean, if I had to choose, I'd pick that over Little Bear. But yeah, my sister had me watch those kind of shows with her sometimes. She would. In the video that I uploaded, I was 12. I had just turned 12, and she was 6. She was adorable. She was an adorable little kid. Now, she started. Things started going south. Started really going south when she became a teenager. Right before that, actually, but when I was a teenager, I don't know. She started getting She kind of inherited some of my attitude as far as like being right and arguing and stuff. She got that. I mean, she doesn't have any autism or anything. But if we get into an argument, God forbid I be right. She's still that way. And, now she's absolutely not the kid that she was, absolutely not the person she was when she was a kid. She likes, she likes pot, she likes pot, alcohol, that kind of stuff, She'll hang out with drug dealers sometimes. But, despite, our differences and stuff, we get along occasionally. And now she's in college. She lives like 2 hours away. I forgot where she goes. She'll come by sometimes. She'll hang out with my younger sister McKenna, who's 16 now. Now McKenna, she's kind of a dumbass. She acts like one. Well, she's very crude. She's disgusting. She does get on my nerves, but she actually lives in a room very next to this one. But yeah, Brighton's in college. She's got a job. She's living somewhere else. She's making more she's further in life than I am. That's freaking sad because she's 5 years younger than me. But anyway. But having those two together though, it's a pretty terrifying combination because they both get on my nerves. McKenna's extra McKenna when Brighton's around. Anyway, moving on. About my other family members. I have three of my oldest sisters. They're actually the biological daughters of my adopted parents. They're married. Two of them have kids. One of them has like 6. Yeah, 6 kids. So she's Katie. She's 43. Yeah. My parents are in their 60s. Then there's Missy. She's married. She doesn't have any kids. She's married to a guy named Johnny. They dated for years. Johnny's the guy who used to fix my computer whenever I messed it up. And so I like to screw around with things. Even though I had good knowledge about computers, I still screwed things up pretty bad as a kid. Now my parents come to me whenever they have computer troubles. Especially my mom. But yeah. Anyway. And then, okay, Bryn, Bryn's married to a guy named Matt. I kind of picked on him a lot in my Sims game. Made him a fairy. Yeah. But he likes to work out. He kind of gets on my nerves sometimes, and that's why I pick on him. But, he's very very health conscious. If I post any picture of food, he's gonna critique it. Like, Cody, it's not really very healthy. It's like, geez, yeah, thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. Yeah, okay. I don't really want to live to 90, but okay. Anyway, despite I've hung out at their house a few times. They have 2 kids. Son named Micah, who's 16 now. Daughter named Eliana, who's like 8. Wow. She's a cute kid. Anyway. But yeah, now the rest of the kids, my parents had adopted special needs kids. They fostered kids for a long time, like throughout the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. 3 kids, they adopted 3 kids, like aside from my two little sisters. My oldest brother, Timmy, he has severe cerebral palsy. And, all right, Snowy, you want to go out? Oh, what are you doing, Snowy? Jeez. Okay. It's back on. Timmy, we were really close as kids. I would joke around a lot. He had a sense of humor. He couldn't talk or walk or anything. He was pretty bad condition, and he also had heart issues. That's what resulted in his demise. 2008. So yeah, but we were really close. We shared a room together as kids. So I was, yeah. Then next kid was Jessica. She had like a chromosome thing or whatever. It was a 13q deletion syndrome, and she couldn't talk or walk. She could sit up, but she was kind of deformed. She drooled, a lot. And my parents had to feed her through a feeding tube. She couldn't chew or swallow or anything. And she died in 2013. She was about a year and a half older than me. And then there's Dee Dee. Now Dee Dee, he's black. He also has cerebral palsy, but it's not quite as bad as Timmy. But he doesn't have any heart issues, so he's doing all right. He's 20. He's still going to school right now. He's special classes, He'll be out like at the end of this year because he'll be 21. Yeah, and I portrayed him pretty well in my Sims game. I made him a super buff football player. Married, has a son. Yeah. My Sim story stretches out all the way to 2050. Man, it's pretty complex. But anyway, so family aside. Well, no, hold on. My parents. My dad was into construction. He likes to build a lot. Hell, him and I, we worked on this house. Like, this house was built from like nothing. Hell, when we moved up here, well, right before we moved up here, this was all woods. This house is, this whole area is, featured in a lot of my pictures and stuff that I post. Like, cause I have a pretty nice yard, pretty nice, whole lot of woods. It's pretty nice. But yeah, my dad's a pretty hard worker, even, for his age. I mean, he's 66 now. But, he's a hard worker. He likes to take on projects. Most recently, he got a sawmill. So he's been cutting up trees that fell last year from Hurricane Irma. Oh man, that was a really bad time because I got stranded at Walmart that night. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's currently sawing up a whole crap ton of wood, making lumber, all that kind of stuff. And he enjoys it, so it's something. And then my mom, she's very big on family. She does a lot. She cooks, she cleans. She has to put up with all of us. Me, unfortunately, I'm not proud of it. Like I said, I'm not proud of it still. I mean, I cook. She doesn't really cook for me anymore. That's okay. I usually make my own food. buy my food and all that kind of stuff. All she has to do is put up with me right now until I get my shit together. But yeah, and she likes to write. And she likes to write books. She's currently working on a series called McKenna Chronicles. But yeah. So now, moving on here. My music. I'm really into metal. Is it still with? Okay. I'm really into metal. Now, when I was a teenager, I used to listen to the crap on the radio because I tried, I wanted to fit in, I listened to pop and that kind of stuff. When I was 14, I went through a Britney Spears phase, which I'm not proud of. Although I'll have to admit she sounds better than the crap that's out now. But after I got out of high school, I lost interest in all that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna be straightforward. I'm not a fan of Eminem. Entirely overrated. I know several hundred of my friends will. Last time I checked, which was a while back, which was a while back. Like huge chunk of my Facebook friends like Eminem. When I checked his page, I was like, really? It's not that great. Come on now. But like I said, I'm not here to fit in anymore. I don't really care. I have friends, so it's whatever. I don't want to be like everyone else. Hence the long hair, a lot of things. I'm not like everyone else. I'm a whole lot different. I'm unusual as hell. But that's okay. I listen to old school metal. I don't listen to screamo. I don't listen to metalcore or anything like that. I like old school metal. I'm talking like Metallica, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin. Although it's not really metal, it's more like hard rock. I like metal, hard rock, with a little bit of prog rock, a little bit of grunge, that kind of stuff. And Metallica was the first band that I got into. It started in 2013, late 2013. Now, originally I liked the Black Album. Now, Ride of Light is my favorite album now, but when I first started, it was Enter Sandman. Now, I find it kind of an overrated song. I mean, when people think Metallica, they think Enter Sandman, but me, it's Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. Those are two of my favorite albums, especially Ride the Lightning, because I have 3 Ride the Lightning shirts. 2 of them are pretty worn out. One of them only somewhat worn out, but I can't find that one. But yeah. Now, for a long time, I didn't like anything in the 90s. Like, I used to hate their Load albums, but now, this year, I finally got into them. And that was only after I started listening to other bands and other 90s stuff, and I started to appreciate that. So yeah, the Load and Reload, I actually like it now. I still don't like Saint Anger, and I don't think I ever will. And Death Magnetic, a little overrated. I don't know about overrated, but it's just not that great. Hardwired had a few good songs, but that came out a couple years ago. But I do like Reload. I like Load and Reload. One song particular from Reload. I like several of their songs. Let's see. Reload. Shut up. This is an interesting song. I mean, I like the song. It's got a unique sound to it. I like it. But I still, you know, as far as the 80s stuff, you know, Ride of Lightning is my favorite. Let's see. Ride of Lightning remastered. This is where my long hair comes in handy. Okay. Anyway, I've gotten into several other bands in the past couple of years, especially last year when I started exploring more. Ronnie James Dio. Now most people when they hear when someone says Ronnie James Dio, they'll think Holy Diver. And that's all right, but I actually my favorite albums are like 4 albums that I really like from Dream Evil. Let's see, where is it? Ronnie James Dio discography. It's on here. I have a whole lot of music on my phone. Oh shoot, duh. Okay. Lock Up the Wolves, Strange Highways, and Angry Machines. You know, 3 of those albums are in the 90s. You know, yeah, especially Strange Highways was a pretty heavy album as far as like it was. I mean, Wikipedia labels it as a doom metal. Let's see, the title song. Yeah, okay. Well, that's not really a good example, but here we go. Now, the following album, Angry Machines, that had more of a 90s feel to it. You know, I like it. It was an acquired taste, but I like it now. Like, here we go. Wait. Yeah, that's got a 90s feel to it. Okay, so moving on here. Led Zeppelin, got a few songs. I mean, not my favorite band, but it got some stuff I like. Yeah, most people thinks, you know, yeah, most people like Stairway to Heaven. Me, it's all right, but let's see. In the Evening, I like that. That's from their final 70s album. I like that album, period. In Through the Outdoor. Now, this is an interesting song. Carousel La Rumba. That song is 10 minutes long. And I also like their first album, titled Led Zeppelin. Let's see. Well, my favorite song from the album is Dazed Confused, which seems to describe me pretty well. This was pretty heavy for its time, you know, 1969. Moving on from Led Zeppelin. Yeah, that song was 1969. So that was pretty heavy for its time. But now let's see. Listen to a little bit of Pink Floyd. You know, a lot of people like The Wall. Me, overrated in my opinion. I mean, I like their earlier stuff. Like, let's see, this one, Dogs. Oh, my hat. Oh crap, my hat's not in here anymore. Okay, I'll tell you right now. You might have noticed a sudden change in focus and light. Well, what happened was, first of all, apparently I accidentally defocused the. You know, this is multiple video clips I'm gonna edit together, but apparently at some point I accidentally defocused the video without even noticing it. I'm not gonna start over. I've already put so much time into this. Oh, look at my hat. So what else? And also my battery went dead, so I had to put it on charge for a little while. I have a backup battery, but it's crap, so it didn't last long. So I put my main battery. My backup battery was a off-brand one, not a Nikon one. So anyway, so yeah, that's the deal with that. I apologize, but you know. So anyway, getting back to this. And I also like their really early stuff too, like their first album. This is back during their psychedelic period. So now, another band I really like is Def Leppard. As you can tell by the shirt, now most of their stuff was acquired taste. You know, originally I only liked their very first album, because I'm, you know, for a long time I'm not usually into glam metal. So of course, you know, the first album was absolutely nothing like, you know, their later stuff. Like, you know, for instance, like here we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the first album, On Through the Night, 1980. Their second album had a kind of a transition, but you can see they're more popular stuff. Here we go. This is more, this is from Pyromania right here. Now, I guess my favorite is Hysteria, the album-wise. I like this song, Women Figures. I like this guitar solo. Wait for it. Now, I like Metallica, there's a 90s album where they experiment with grunge, like a mix of alternative rock and that kind of stuff. Like, here we go. And they went back, you know, after the album to more traditional bland stuff. Let's see. Now, this is the X album from 2002. This is definitely a pop album, but I kind of like it. I like some songs. Not this one. No. Wait, where? I don't really know the song title. No. Oh, here we go. No, that's not. I don't know. Screw it. Okay. We're wasting too much time on this. I mean, obviously, I'm burning a lot of battery, but you know, also this video. Apparently, I looked at it when I was waiting for the battery to charge somewhat. Apparently, it's already nearly 2 hours, so I need to freaking wrap this stuff up. Anyway, and yes, I saw just how ugly my teeth look. God, oh, okay. Anyway, so really need to ease up on the facial expressions are kind of creepy looking too. God, okay. Anyway, so moving on from music. What else? Okay. Movies. I haven't watched that many movies lately, but I like Star Wars. Of course, I like them all. Now I'm gonna go against everyone and say I actually like the prequels better than the sequel series. And I like the original trilogy to an extent, but I mean, I like the prequels because I can kind of relate to Anakin. Maybe not obsessed with the girl so much that I would frickin' turn to the dark side and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, some of the stuff he said was a little creepy or disturbing, whatever. Like, although I can kind of relate to the sand comment. I mean, I know people give him a lot of crap for that, but shoot, anyone who knows me knows how awkward I am with women. So shoot, whatever. So yeah, I like it. And I like the music scores. You know, music. The prequels had better music than the sequel series. Now, as far as the sequel series goes, I like The Last Jedi better than Force Awakens. You know, some people really hated that, but I liked it. I like The Last Jedi. Now, I can't wait. I want to see the Han Solo movie, but probably I rarely ever go out to the theaters, you know. I don't usually have that kind of money. So I'm always blowing on all this stuff. So whatever. Anyway. So, but yeah, as far as movies goes, I hate chick flicks. Yeah, I like funny movies, kind of. I mean, I like Will Ferrell movies. Love those. Let's see. I like a few Adam Sandler ones, like Click. You know, not many people like that, but I liked it. Basically, where he controlled. he was able to fast forward through things with the remote, with a remote control. Able to pause things, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's cool. I like to do that. Although one thing I probably would have been able to do, unlike him, was actually be able to turn off the auto fast forward feature. I mean, apparently that's what screwed up the movie. I mean, that's what screwed things up for him. They did auto fast forward, and that's, you know, if I had a feature disabled, I would have absolutely no problem with that remote. You know, it worked to my advantage because some things I just would like to skip through, like, you know, work. Yeah. I mean, as long as I'm getting work done on autopilot, that's what they call it on there. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah. Will Ferrell movies. My favorite Will Ferrell movies are the Anchorman movies. Those are great. And let's see. I like time travel movies. You know, like Back to the Future. Now, I didn't care for the second one was all right, but the first one was the best. The third one, I mean, I'm not big on the Wild West. And that's basically what they did. You know, they traveled back to the 1880s, the Wild West. It's not for me. I'm not a big fan of that. Just the first one was the best. You know, and I like Home Alone. The second one was decent, but I mean, it was pretty good. But the first one was the best, in my opinion. I mean, that was a classic. Third one, I mean, it was just not the same. But I mean, I don't hate it as much as I hate any of the ones after that. I mean, those were absolute garbage. Third one was only somewhat tolerable, but the first one, definitely the best. Definitely the the best one that I've seen a million times. And I like Titanic. Now, when I was a kid, I first watched it when I was like 7. When I was a kid, I didn't care for the nudity. Of course, when I was a teenager, I thought it was pretty cool. But at that point, I had seen Rose like a million times, so it was like, okay. Just probably would have had different feelings, if I had seen the movie for the first time as a teenager. But whatever. I'm talking about the drawing scene. My parents, like when I was a kid, they bought the movie like in a 2 VHS tape set. So, and I was, that scene was on the first one. So my parents never let me watch that when I was a little kid. I never watched it until I was like in 3rd grade. I think I don't know how I got away with that, but I did. But no, honestly, the second half was more interesting, And, as a kid, it was part of the autism thing, but I used to pretend that my house was like the ship and it was sinking. I'd play with my sister too, frightened. I would and I would, it was kind of a douchey thing to do, but I would close the door on her, saying, every man for himself. Well, I didn't say that, but it was basically what it was. And I would turn off all the lights because, that's what happened. That's kind of what happened, like, right before the ship split in half, lights went out. So that's what I did. And, yeah. I never did. I'm not an emotional person, so, I didn't cry during the movie at all. I never did, not even at 7. I never cried at all. I mean, I really, it takes a whole lot. I don't even remember the last time I've actually just straight up cried. I mean, it's just not possible. Usually, as far as things go, I have gotten depressed, like, especially last year, but even then I didn't cry. But, usually I get angry more than anything else, It's whatever. I'm not a I'm not an emotional person, and some some love movies or whatever, don't really care for. Only Titanic was the only exception because I like the ship thing, the shit. Yeah, and now there was one time I watched, like 6 years ago, I watched The Vow, but honestly that's only because I heard about it on Facebook, and honestly, when I watched it, it was like, yeah, it was alright, but it's just, not something I'd watch again. But despite that, I posted on Facebook, I remember saying, Vow is one of the best movies of all time, but the only reason I posted that, I think I was trying to impress some girls or something. I don't know. What kind of girl was I trying to impress, because I was so freaking lying. I mean, I don't plan on watching that again unless I'm in a relationship, I'll watch it with a girl I like, or really that girl. But being single, there's no way in hell I'm going to watch it again. And the same with The Notebook. Whatever. No, a lot of these movies are so stupid. Such unrealistic expectations. And I'm sorry, that kind of makes me sound like a douchebag, but you know what? Well, hell, maybe that's why I'm single. That along with many, many other things. But yeah, anyway, that's about it for that. So yeah, movies, I mostly like, comedy movies, time travel movies, like Flight of the Navigator, that was a good one. I also like Tom Hanks movies, like Splash. Let's see, when I was a kid, I was into mermaids, and I'm not proud of it, but shit, and the worst thing was that it continued on until I was almost 13. Like, I remember being in 6th grade and writing a story about, like, being on this really cool boat, with, like, some of my friends or whatever, and I met, like, this really hot mermaid, and I started, like, dating her or something. It was, yeah, and I used to draw pictures of me and her. So, yeah, it went on a little longer than I cared to talk about. It went from like 4th grade to 6th grade. Yeah. The heck? Okay. So, anyway, but yeah, about that, like, one of the Tom Hanks movies I watched was Splash, like, it was like 1984. It's a good movie though, I like it. I mean, it was funny. It wasn't a kid's movie. Yeah, seriously, no, it wasn't. But it was a good movie. I liked it. I still like it. See, another Tom Hanks movie, there's Big, and of course, Forrest Gump. Everyone's heard of Forrest Gump. Life like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get. I don't think that's exactly how they sounded, but Mama always told me life like a box of chocolates. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of like this. I like this kind of movies. So yeah. Now TV shows. I like sitcoms. I'm not into reality shows. Well, the only reality show I liked was Duck Dynasty. I hadn't watched that in a long time, but still, it was a pretty good one. But for the most part, I watch sitcoms. I watch some cartoons, like old shows. I mean, I like, SpongeBob as a kid. Early SpongeBob was good. Newer SpongeBob sucks. The show went downhill after the first movie, 2004. Man, that's because there was a change of writers and all that. I mean, they really fucked up the show. Yeah. So, but early 2000s SpongeBob was great. After that, no, I'm good. I'll pass. So anyway, but yeah, I like Fairly Odd Parents. And those are like kids shows, I like that. I mean, there were some shows on Disney Channel I liked, like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I liked That's So Raven. I initially liked Hannah Montana, but of course now I absolutely hate it. Then again, I hate Miley Cyrus. She's trash. Sorry, but she is. Yeah. Man, I lost the interest in Disney Channel like altogether. Finally, when I was like 16, I was like, "What the hell am I watching?" Man, I watched. It was 2008 when I started to transition to more adult shows. I watched George Lopez. Family Matters was kind of more of a family. It was a family oriented show, but I liked that. I like this kind of shows. Full House, even though that's definitely family show, not an adult show. But still, and there was Home Improvement with Tim the Tool Man Taylor. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. More power. Okay, no, shut up. Okay. No, That 70s Show. Watched that show like a million times. Because the early seasons were better. I think the show started going downhill like halfway through the 5th season. But till then it was great. Season 8 is absolute garbage. I hate it. Except, there were maybe like a few bits from like the first couple episodes when Kelso was still in there, but after that, no. Now, season 7 was tolerable. There's some episodes I really like the final episode of that season, like where Red caught them in the basement with all that, Okay. Yeah, so, that 70s show, it was a good show. I like the 70s in general. It's a good decade, I think. If I were to visit any decade, it would be the 70s. Anyway, let's see. One show I just recently started watching, like last month, was Roseanne. Pretty funny show. I'm now on season 8, so not much more to go. And they also they rebooted that show like a couple months ago, so that's pretty good. And Big Bang Theory, like that. Honestly, earlier stuff was better because it was better better before everyone partnered off. Like when Wolowitz was was just before he was in a relationship and he was just a perv. He was funny like that, And Sheldon didn't really need to be in a relationship. Whatever. And but one of my favorite recent shows was How I Met Your Mother. I watched that many times. It's great. It was Legend. Wait for it. Dairy. So yeah. And I actually liked it all the way through. I know the ending could have been better. There was something I didn't like how it ended, really. But the mother should have not died. Ted and Robin, they had I don't think they were right for each other. I didn't. no, I don't like how it ended. So yeah, but anyway, that's about it. I mean, now, okay, I do like, as far as like adult cartoons, Simpsons. Earlier Simpsons was better, like 90s Simpsons. That was great. And Family Guy. Yeah, earlier Family Guy was great too. I mean, I liked it. More recent Family Guy, they're taking things a little too far. Like, this episode was like, I don't know, 4 years ago or whatever, where Peter freaking tore up a beached whale with a forklift. I mean, dude, come on now. I mean, I have a good sense of humor for a lot of things, but I don't know. I wasn't mad. I was just like, bro, it just, whatever. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah. So that just about wraps. I'm about to wrap up this video. It's been great. I'd like, before I close this off, I'd like to give a shout out to some of my important co-workers, like Cameron Figgins. Freaking serious? I do impressions of my co-workers. Cameron Figgins, are you freaking serious? Emil, time for another beer. Hunter, okay, I ain't gonna do his impression. Take ass, kick names. That's what he says. Rylan, Waylon. Oh yeah. Let's see. Even Matt Bailey, even though he gave me a freaking bad evaluation this past week. I forgot today's Friday. Okay. Matt freaking Bailey, who's married to Tim on my Sims game. Tim overnight. Like, no matter how much he denies it, they'd be perfect for each other. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course, Nick Wyatt. Crazy bastard. No. Seth Ratney. I think I already said Rylan. Adam Maxwell. Jose Paramo. Oh, dude, he's a cool dude. I mean, yeah. Hell, he was on my Sims game. He was when I renewed my vows with my wife. He was my best man, I think. No, that was Jacob. Oh, my bad. No, Jacob quit like 2 months ago. Shoot. Okay, yeah, Jacob Harkins, even though he doesn't work there anymore. Cool guy. Yeah, and he's married to Waylon on my Sims game. Of course, Waylon just died from a shark attack. Poor Waylon. Okay, now I'll go into more detail in a separate video. But yeah, there's a story and there's a prequel. Did the prequel, so yeah, that was great. That went all the way back to the 70s. There we go. This wraps it up. That's it. I'm gonna stop talking now. You guys all know where I'm at. On Facebook, Cody Peaster. It's the one with over 4,000 friends, obviously. I'll try to get something done about my teeth soon enough, so I quit looking like a meth head. I mean, ugh. Yeah. Anyway, and of course I'm still at Walmart. Hopefully they'll change by the end of this year, but hopefully I'll be somewhere else, doing something better with my life. Just whatever. Well, that's it. I'll see you guys. Have a good one.